claims against the faceless elite squad trying to arrest Matiang'I last night. Police have denied this. What is your response to these claims, and will your office take any action to whoever was involved?
I think as the IG confirmed and the EACC, there were no such elite squads. And I think we've also, or I'll also ask you guys to give us the photos of those so-called elite squads who are there. There was no such squad. There was no EACC, nor are there any BCI or NPS officials or officers. I think if there are such allegations, then I would advise those who are making those allegations to go and report to the nearest police station for investigations to commence. Otherwise, as far as we are concerned, there was no such incidents that occurred.
Do you have any active investigation or consideration of prosecuting former Cabinet Secretary Fred Matiang'I in any matter?
I think you know, for a long time, it's the media that has been even asking about the Ruaraka land issue. And once the file is ready, I think we will make the decision, and we will inform the public what the decision will be. We are awaiting finalization of the financial investigations. Once that is ready, then we will make the appropriate decisions. In relation to other investigations, I think that question will have to be posed to the investigating authorities. And in any case, no one is above the law, and anyone can be investigated.
To be specific on that Ruaraka matter, because the information I have is that there's a possibility that a file came from the SEC to your office. Have you been able to make a decision and send it back, or?
If you know very well, if we have made decisions, that we will make it public. There's nothing to hide about it. And when the time comes, we shall do that.
So you haven't made a decision on who to charge and how to do it?
As I said, if we had, you would be one of the first people to know, isn't it? Yeah. So you cannot take rumors and innuendos outside there to be the truth. And we have to be very careful, and not to mislead the public.
Yeah. Right. Then we've heard from one of the former cabinet secretaries making a claim that there are actually several former officials to the point of cabinet secretaries and principal secretaries that are also being pursued. Is there any information that you'd be aware of matters that are being investigated in relation to cabinet secretaries or principal secretaries other than Fred Matiang'I?
I think, again, you know the way we operate as ODPP. If there are investigations or if the files have come to us, especially if the files have come to us, then we share that information. We are an institution that believes in openness and in making sure that the public understands what we're doing. And we are not afraid of doing that. So if there is, then we will share. But I take exception to the fact that it is an issue if any of those are going to be investigated. It should not be an issue. No one is above the law, and anyone can be investigated.
So you're not aware of any active investigation or maybe a file that has come to you?
No, there's no file. That's what I'm telling you.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's some cases that have been taken to court against those ACAP and approve the files.
Why did we? And I have explained severally why. Again, I take exception to the fact that people are saying I was coerced. I have never said that. And if anyone was to listen to the interview that was done, at no point did I say that I was coerced and accepted the coercion. And accepted the coercion. Coercion was there, but we resisted. And you all know what I went through. I was taken to court 20 times, attempting to remove me because of standing firm and making a firm decision on who to charge and who not to charge. That notwithstanding, we have explained to the public that there are different standards that we use in making the decision to charge. And one of them is the threshold decision, where you agree, principally, and you trust that your partner in the criminal justice system will keep the side of the bargain. And the facts that were presented to us at that time made us to believe that once the investigations were complete, we would still be able, notwithstanding, we would still be able to convict that individual. However, that never took place. And the DCI then did not avail the evidence that was required. A number of affidavits were brought by officers from the DCI, clearly outlining that they were pushed to do what they were doing. And there was no way the ODPP and us as prosecutors could be in a position to tell whatever documents they were presenting was accurate or not. But we have discovered now that a number of the documents that they had presented were not properly examined, and that they committed perjury. And in fact, some of the officers are still under investigations, and we will prosecute them for committing perjury. So, if certain individuals are telling me I should not use the Constitution as envisaged by the Constitution, I should not use the tools that have been given to the office of the ODPP to withdraw cases that are likely to result into miscarriage of justice. I mean, it's not fair. I must make that decision. I will make that decision, and I think I have made that decision objectively, and I've used that discretion openly. I have not hidden anything. I have presented it in court, and the magistrates and the judges have agreed with me and have allowed me to withdraw. I do not make that decision in a vacuum. I go and present the facts to the magistrate and the judges, and if they felt that I was misleading in any way, then they would have refused me to withdraw, and they would have sanctioned me also.
But does it bother you that your legacy sort of getting defined by how many cases that collapsed along the way or were withdrawn? Does it bother you that...
It doesn't bother me at all, because the person who was involved in the investigations was misleading us. The facts that he presented were not the true facts. And as I said, for example, the ODPP does not have the expertise to examine documents. It is the DCI officers. And once they present it, we have to believe that this person is an expert. And we have to rely on his expertise. It is unfortunate that now this is happening. And you know the import of that in the criminal justice system? That now we have to review each and every case, because we don't know whether really the person who has been brought to court is guilty or not. But nobody is bothered to ask those people who were involved at that time in investigations. All they're focusing on is the ODPP. But let me tell you, I stand by my decision, and there's a very transparent process that takes place here, and I have no apologies to make.
Kenyans have been asking, because if you look at some of the withdrawals, these are people that holding high positions within government or public institutions. Then how deep is that when it comes to individual private citizens? How will
But
they know?
my friend, if I give you the number of complaints that are here and that we are dealing with, they're numerous. It is only because the media has chosen to only focus on high-profile cases. If I give you this, yes, we'll give you the numbers and the statistics. Yeah,
How many other cases have you applied to have withdrawn?
so many, and not only in Nairobi, all over the country, and we'll give you the statistics. There's nothing to hide here, and there is a reason why that section was put there by the Constitution because it envisaged such situation.
And just before the election, there was a conversation, I think it was the CEO of the ACC who came out to the media and said that they had sent files to recommending to prosecute several governors. It was Governor of Kirinyaga, Tana River, Lamu that time. Were you ever able to make a decision?
You see, let me tell you one thing. It's not the EACC CEO who makes the decision to charge. It is me. It is this office. If we feel that the evidence is not sufficient, what we do is we kindly ask them to cover areas, and that happens every day, day in, day out. And EACC is very professional in its work, and that's why we are not reviewing any of their cases, because we are comfortable with what they are doing. And they go and review and return the file. Once the file is returned and we are satisfied, then we'll make the decision to charge.
That's the question I'm asking, because...
But I've answered you, isn't it? That he doesn't make the decision to charge.
True.
It is the ODPP.
True. And
So whether he has forwarded a file of a governor or a minister or whatever, it doesn't mean that the evidence is sufficient. It is us who will decide.
And I get that, and I respect it. The question I'm asking is, has there been a decision on those particular files?
If there was a decision, and I told you at the beginning, you'd be the first person to know. There's nothing to hide. You'd be the first person to know, and you guys would be in court. Yeah, seeing these people taking plea, Sindio. Yeah.
Or not? We just see the plea.
Sorry.
We just see them taking plea, but a decision whether to
No, no,
terminate that matter, I haven't seen.
No, but who have I terminated amongst those governors?
That's
We
exactly-
don't.
that's
No,
exactly
no.
what
You
I'm
see, my friend, there's a difference. When you talk about termination, that means that person has taken plea, and we've gone to court, and we've asked for a withdrawal. There is another process where the investigator brings the file, we look at the file, and we then say either there is a decision that we have made, as in we will charge you. Once we charge you, go to court. But if we don't charge you, we return the file and say it has not reached the threshold. Kindly cover these areas because this is missing, this document needs to be examined, you need to bring this statement, you need to look at this account, and things like that. The file goes back, the investigator looks at it and returns it back. Okay?
Okay. All right. And
No, do you get me? And then it is reported to Parliament. ESCC makes its report, and it says very, very clearly what the ODPP, why it has returned the file. Every month, every quarter, it is presented and it is gazetted. You can go and look at them.
Okay.
There is nothing that we hide. Everything is open and out there for you to see. Yeah.
Do you currently feel any pressure from the current regime?
None whatsoever. None whatsoever. Don't I look more healthy?
You do?
Yeah.
However, Kenyans are concerned.
Of course, they will be concerned because of the misinformation. And it is unfortunate that people are trying to politicize these processes. There are so many other people that we have charged, high-profile people. We've not reviewed their cases. It is based on a case-to-case basis. The other day, Keroche was up in arms because we had decided that we were going ahead with the case. Yeah. So what is the hula baloo about this? We have charged quite a number of governors and they're in court. And majority of them happen to be from UDA. Yeah. Why aren't people talking about that?
tell me about, there was that matter of cancer, COVID billionaires.
Yes.
A file came to you, you returned it to the agencies that investigate to do some further work.
Yes.
It didn't ever get back to you, or where is it in between?
It came back and we were still not satisfied. And you can ask ESCC, and they have undertaken to continue the investigations. And if I was malicious, my friend, if I was malicious, a lot of those people come from Upande Azimio. But I'm not going to do that unless there is evidence. And I can assure everybody that if today evidence is brought, packaged in a certain manner, and we discover that this is going to lead to miscarriage of justice, we will withdraw. hata kama ni kesi ya Matiang'i tuta withdraw. Yeah. So hii withdrawal don't let them not make it a monster, because one day they will also want and they will come and ask for it. It is a safeguard within the Constitution, and people must be, and if anybody is aggrieved, there's judicial review. Go to court, challenge me, and I will come to court and say it. But don't go to podiums and politicize this issue.
You have said that the work that was done by the DCI was not up to the standard of
Yes,
prosecution.
and I said that even before.
Right, and is there any investigation into the former DCI boss, George Kennedy?
In terms of,
The work that he may have done? Well,
I think you'll have to ask the investigators on that. But on the perjury issues that I've told you, that one I've instructed that investigations should be done. Yeah.
If former CS Matiang'i's claims turn out not to be true, what action will you take?
Against him. In fact, I have looked at his application in court, and he has alleged that me and the president met on the sideline to plan in Mombasa when we had the African Prosecutors Association, to plan against him. That in itself is a perjury, and I will take him to task. I will take that affidavit to task, because it's unacceptable. Let him table that evidence that we did that. And we had several attorney generals from all over Africa on the sidelines, and I have evidence that nothing like that happened. And I take great exception that people are still continuing to commit perjury just to mislead Kenyans. That is unacceptable.
Finally, from me, on the 4th of January, President Ruto spoke about that you've been threatened